today we have a lot of snoozy cats out on the deck, and they have actually been outside for most of the day. So even though I've been thinking, oh, we only have a few days left in Taipei, I should sit outside and watch people walk by even though it's still kind of hot, I've been staying inside all day because I don't want to mess with the roof cats. And I know as soon as I go out there, they're gonna scatter. And Noble Lady, of all the roof cats, is the one who is currently closest, sleeping under the table on this chair for the last several hours. It's been so much fun watching her tail draped over the edge, or watching her roll over and just seem at peace with the world. But I know that the second I open the door, she's going to freak out and run. Oh, see, I was thinking about opening the door. So I want to leave her alone until Chips comes home through that big red door in another hour. And then she's gonna end up having to skitter away into one of her hiding places anyway. So no outside sit time for me just yet, but that's okay, because it means that all three of our roof cats are very happy and very comfy in their usual sleeping spots. Boss is up in Boss's spot. Ah, what's this? And Bird has vanished. Oh my gosh, you guys. I swear Bird was literally just right there, sound asleep on the grill. Is he up against the side? No, I don't see him. And he's not in his usual bird spot. And we're out of cat food because they ate all of it this morning, so I need to put more out. So who knows? Maybe Bird is busy hiding in some of this, all of these branches, all the leaves that fell down, this mess from the typhoon that I am still working on cleaning up. And suddenly there's only like 12 days left before we leave Taiwan and we're going to be going back to the United States, and my mind is just spinning trying to wrap my head around that, because this trip has gone by both slower and faster than I could have believed. And I have so many regrets, and I wish I didn't have to say that. I wish that I could sit down and go, there's 12 days left, we've done everything we want to do, we have no regrets. And yet here I am, and I was gonna be brave and put on a nice smile and be like, yeah guys, there's no regrets. Chips and I are so happy to go home, and we are so happy to get home. Oh my goodness, I have never appreciated my home more in my entire life. Me, who has moved every single year for like the past several years, this will be the first year Chips and I get to live in the same place for 2 years in a row. We're ecstatic about that idea. Not having to pack everything into all those copious Amazon boxes and rent another U-Haul. Yes, we're very, very happy about that. But I mean, I guess technically we moved to Taiwan though for 3 months. Does that count? I mean, it wasn't the whole house, but still, maybe that counts a little bit, because that's a little bit of a disruption into your daily life, I've learned, going halfway across the world and staying there for 3 months. But I've really enjoyed it. I've learned so much about myself, which was very unexpected. Maybe it's a side effect of ending up in a meditative retreat. Maybe it's a side effect of ending up kind of, I mean, to be honest, isolated in the apartment for 3 months, more or less. And don't get me wrong, I tend to stay at home and be a homebody even when we're back home in the United States and our home in Michigan. But it's a little bit different when you only have one set of keys, which isn't as big a deal as I always make it out to be, so I don't want to give myself too many excuses there. And when you go outside and you can't even order lunch, that's a little different too. There's ways I can adapt to that for sure, but that kind of feeds into my regrets pile, and I want to make it clear I've enjoyed this trip so much, and we still have a couple weeks left, but I just keep thinking, man, there's something niggling at the back of my mind, and I kind of have a lot of regrets. And I thought, you know what, even though I'm sick right now with a cold, and even though we only have a couple weeks left, gosh darn it, it's high time to sit back down and vlog again, because one of my regrets is that I didn't break my camera out every single day, that I stopped kind of pushing myself to do that, and I didn't vlog. There's something about vlogging that provides a lens that I have to focus my attention and focus my efforts on discovering the world around me in a new way. When I pick up that camera, it really pushes me to look for something new. It pushes me to go to my usual boundaries and and then a little bit further. That's really important to do in just a general lifestyle advice sort of thing, but especially when you're on a once-in-a-lifetime kind of trip like this. And I feel like I've kind of shot myself in the foot a little bit by prioritizing work. I'm pointing to my laptop right now over everything else. But that's kind of a big theme in my life for the last several years, or really for the last 2 years in particular. And that's the thing I don't regret about this trip, is coming here with Chips and sharing the same 300 square foot apartment for 3 months on end, and not having our own private little offices that we can retreat into as the shy introverts that we are, and realizing I love this guy. I love this guy more than I can possibly put into words at this phase. I need to practice being a poet for the next 25 years before I can even really begin to explain the kind of rainbow thunderstorm explosion of respect and love and inspiration and encouragement and silliness and everything that I feel when I think about my love of Chips. And the last couple of years I have prioritized work above all things, because I was raised with an amazing father who worked himself literally to the bone until his health gave out, and we're at where we're at with my family there now. And I always saw the level of dedication my father put into his work as such an obvious representation of the love, the deep love that he had for us and his family. And he still has, like, he's still alive. That sounds really dramatic, but that's just, especially growing up way under the poverty line and knowing how scary it is not to have a stable roof over your home or food in the kitchen. I've talked about those things in the past, but I guess just that never left me. And for the last couple of years, in between the demands of a growing and often very young and thus very demanding community, and with the excitement and the rush of becoming Seri and the endless amount of work you can do when you do YouTube. There is no end to your work. There's nobody to tell you you've done enough, because there'll always be more requests and there'll always be more expectations you have of yourself, and always room to grow, and always this need to put out something every single day to stay even relevant to the algorithm, not even the people but the machine behind YouTube. And I just have realized when I've been here with Chips and sitting here and thinking, you know what, if I turn on that camera and talk about my regrets, what'll come out? I realize that it's that theme again of having put this entity of work ahead of the love of my life and my ability to go out and adventure. So here I am, and I thought I'd just say, oh, I regret not grabbing the camera and going out for 40 minutes on my own every day and taking pictures of something new. I do regret that, but then I thought, what's the root cause of that? And yeah, it's hot, but I can live with the hot. Take my water bottle with me and go on a walk. And yeah, we only have one set of keys, but I know exactly when Chips will be home from school, so I know when to be at the apartment to let him in and buzz him in the 2 doors and things like that. And I realized my biggest excuse, and the thing that was so comfortable and so neat and tidy and reasonable to keep myself perched in this little apartment and not budging and not leaving it, was the fact I had so much work to do. And I still have so much work to do. In a way, I'm kind of skipping out on work right now because I'm talking to my vlog instead of working on recording niche or something. But I just think how silly that is. So I know I'm probably not gonna make sense because you guys aren't me. You don't see my schedule, you don't see my expectations, you don't see the amount of work that goes on behind the scenes to make all of the main channel videos come to life. But I just wanted to say, here I am, and traveling to Taiwan and living here for 3 months, and I have regrets because I didn't make myself go out by myself. I can't speak the language. who cares? Most people here know a little bit of English or will just leave you alone. There's no need to worry. You can point to things. I can learn to adapt. It doesn't matter. There's places I can go where I don't have to say anything to anyone, and I can get fed, and I can find drinks, and I could look up things on my little phone and find my way around this city if I really had put my mind to it. And I let myself go, oh no, you have to stay home and do work, and by the time you're done with work, look at that, it's time for Chips to be home, and now you don't want to leave because you want to spend time with him. So here I am using the exact same excuse that I've held myself back on so many things before, and I look at that and I just am grateful I've realized it, because like I mentioned to you guys, I did kind of have that little bit of a, not a little bit, a major breakdown in May, and it was because I couldn't keep up with the pace. What pace? The thing about YouTube is there is a big pace that you need to stay on top of, especially with gaming YouTube, where there's a lot of content out there all the time, every single day, more and more of it. And especially with a variety channel like mine, where I'm catering to multiple different audiences who don't share a lot of the same taste. So then there's the bottom line of, hey, yeah, sometimes it's important to prioritize work, like making sure that I have enough money to send to my parents so that my mom can be taken care of with her in-home care, or making sure that I have my own rent paid, you know, things like that. We're having to pay 2 rents right now, one for our home in Michigan and then one for this place too. So there's a practical side to work, but look how easy of a slippery rabbit hole it is to start sliding right down into that reasonable place where you never leave the house and you sit behind your computer and you just work all day. And I am beginning to realize that Chips has really been so patient with me, but it really has made something where the evenings, last night we were actually talking about it, and I realized in the evenings, if we were home, I'd be working until I fell asleep. I would work until 10 or 11, and then when I literally couldn't talk anymore because I couldn't string words together to record, is when I would go in and say goodnight to him, and he would give me a kiss on my forehead and I'd go to sleep. Wake up in the morning, he goes off to class, and I work all day, and rinse and repeat again and again. I love this guy. Shouldn't I be spending time, like, being really excited to make a delicious meal for him? And even if it means I didn't get 2 or 3 videos that were due that day done, shouldn't I be happier as long as the bills are paid and as long as people know I'm at least trying my best? Shouldn't I be happier to like be able to lay out a really delicious hot meal or a secret like chocolate dessert that I learned to make for him, and be able to kick up my feet and play Splatoon with him? Shouldn't that make me more excited than going upstairs and sitting down and being like, ah, good, I got 4 more check boxes filled in for my productivity list? And that's what this trip to Taiwan has made me realize, that I need to figure out how to really wrangle that together, because I have misconstrued my desire to tell Chips how much I love him and to take care and create security in my life as working is everything, as everything comes after work. And so here I am in Taiwan with my bundle of regrets, going, why don't I have more wildlife vlogs to share with you guys? Why don't I have more pictures of things that I've seen? Why didn't I push myself to take out my camera and take pictures of things in the middle of the street just because I'm the tourist, and you just have to own that sometimes, and you at least get to walk away from the situation of shyly taking your camera out and taking a picture with the picture. So why didn't I do those things? And it's because I gently nudged myself into that very reasonable and very understandable excuse of, oh, you have work to do. I will always have more work to do than I can handle. That's the nature of this particular job. And this particular trip here to Taiwan, sitting with my bundle of regrets, I'm looking at it and I could list them all off to you guys. I regret not going to the botanical garden. We probably still will be able to do that. I regret not trying out more places to eat. Probably still be able to do that. It's really good to reflect on your regrets before you actually leave. Just FYI, giving yourself a couple weeks to try to peck away at them. But if I look at any of the regrets I could list off to you guys, I realized that the root cause of all of them is that I have been putting the priorities in my life in the wrong order. And it's so hard. It feels like I am saying the most flippant, entitled, privileged little thing in the world to be like, I'm gonna prioritize my ability to share a happy life with chips and adventure over getting all this work done. But that's, if that wasn't something that needed to change and happen, why is it that every month, if I sit down and reflect on the things I regret, it's not taking the time away from work, because I'm using all of my time up to the maximum, trust me. Why is it that every single month my biggest regrets, no matter what they are, no matter how they can change from place to place, including on the other side of the world, it comes back to I worked too much, I focused on work, I prioritized work more. It's not even that I worked too much, I prioritized work more than these other things, and so I didn't make these other things happen. And when those other things include the love of my life and these adventures that I will have and cherish, and these unique situations I could find myself in that will be so much more impactful in my memory and in my heart and the development of myself as a person than if I got another niche out, then something needs to change. So that's kind of where I'm at today. Guys, Noble Lady is dreaming. She just stopped now that I grabbed the camera. Oh, there goes her leg again. But her little paws were twitching all over the place and she was dreaming. And she's got her little tail down again. I've really loved watching her and the other cats, but Chips is gonna be home any moment, so she's gonna wake up. Sorry, Noble Lady. Enjoy your dreams of chasing pigeons while you can. And I'm gonna lay my cold, weary self back down in just a second. But I just wanted to make it clear that I feel like all I do is complain about working on my vlog channel, and that's not what I want you guys to get the impression of. I love what I do with so much happiness and excitement and gratitude, and I think that's the danger of it, especially as a artist of some kind who works from home and is self-employed. There's this very easy way to fall down that rabbit hole where you're going, but I love what I do. This makes other people happy. This is good work, isn't it? And you can justify yourself with good intentions. That might be what that certain saying is all about. The path is paved with good intentions. But you can justify yourself with good intentions all the way down to burnout. And I didn't know that. I thought if you had noble motives behind noble efforts, or even just like nice motives behind decent efforts, then it was always the right thing to do. But I'm learning that that's not true. That life is all about balance, and I am being very richly rewarded with that balance right now by being able to pull back and feel human again, being able to pull back and feel balanced and like I can see the world around me again. It's not just like having blinders on and the only thing I can ever think about and the only thing I can ever see is work. I feel like I can actually see the amazing person beside me when he's here again, and I'm so glad for that, because he has done nothing but support me, and he has done nothing but encourage me ever since we've known each other. And I just am really kind of humbled that as I become more skilled at Seri, the biggest thing that I'm finding gives me the deepest rewards is actually building up my life as Sage with him. And that's really cool. I guess that's what it means when you're really in a healthy, loving relationship. But there's that, and I just wanted to make sure you guys know I love what I do. I love what I do. And sometimes that can be the problem, because you will lose your balance with taking good care of your body and going, sure, I could ignore the fact I haven't moved from this chair for like 8 hours and not go on a walk, which I need for my physical health, and record 5 more videos. And I've done that in the past. That's been my life, and my health is beginning to show for it. But it's because you love what you do. Yes, I love what I do. So sure, I'm just gonna tell, you know, Chips, oh, we don't have to play Witcher 3 tonight and I'll watch you play. You can go ahead and play with your friends and play League, and I'll just do my own thing. It's so easy. Or if you know, oh, this video will make so many people happy. I know I'm gonna get hundreds of people saying thank you so much because they really wanted to see this. Even if it's a beautiful day outside, well, you know, it's so easy. It's so easy to mess up your priorities when you feel like your intentions are good. And I just want to get that across to people. And I also want to reassure you guys that I love what I do, and just let you know that the past few days, resting a lot, even resting, which is something so weird to me, resting because I'm sick, not something I easily do, not something I normally do. Ask anybody in our Patreon Discord or ask Chips and he will tell you I fight resting so hard when I'm sick because I feel like I should be working. But I have spent pretty much the last 2 days resting. I'm getting better faster than I normally do from something this bad, and I'm coming up with a lot of ideas still. It's not like my mind turns off, but I'm just telling myself you don't have to do that right now with my new little scheduling program that the Patreon Discord has helped me come up with. And I'm writing down notes, and I'm having these amazing story ideas come to me from where before it felt like I was really having to kind of mine deeply into my mind to find those like really awesome gemstones of creativity that would make a fun series or a fun plot for a series or a fun idea to do in one of our series. And they're starting to come back naturally all on their own to me again. Probably because I have a bit more balance in my life now. And I focus on the joy of creating instead of the weight of the expectations. There's a balance. I'm not saying that you should only do what makes you happy. I'm not saying that you should only focus on like life with your family or only work. It's about finding the balance between all of those things. And I'm working on it. And I am feeling human again. And I love what I do. I just really want to stress that because I feel like I always complain about work. No, I'm not complaining about the work. I'm complaining about the fact that growing up and finding balance in life is hard to do.